One of my neighbors left two of these foreign affairs magazines in the lobby. And so I grabbed both of them because initially I was like, I'll just use this for scrap paper. The foreign affairs magazines have like different political essays in them. It's just a general magazine. The paper isn't that great, but I was like, oh, this will be good to just have for scrap paper. But then I was like, I can repurpose this and use it like a sketchbook. I can tear the pages out, or I can just use it to do like really quick drawings and studies. And so this video today is about some of the things. I'm sharing some of the art that I made during the month of November. So I'm going to show you a few things that I created in here. And it's really just a hodgepodge of things. Micheline Thomas is one of my favorite artists, Black queer artists. So I did a quick drawing of her. I will sometimes test out some of my products on some of my, like art supplies on different types of paper. And so this is just like black ink, a very light wash of black ink on here and on the next page. And then marker. And then I sketched with one of those micron graphics pens, and I'm not at my art table right now. So I don't have my supplies to be able to show you, but if you're interested in my art supplies that I use, I could definitely do a video about that. Anyway, this is not going to be in chronological order at all. This is just vibes and things that I did in November, some of the things. Lorna Simpson is another, they're both collage artists. And Lorna Simpson is another one of my favorites. So I did a quick drawing of her as well. This is a December one of just some street items. I did this one. This is like a master study, if you will. This is one of Micheline Thomas's collage and paintings called Lovely Six Footer. So yeah, this is a master study of hers. So I did that in November. I just did like some splotches, just, again, this is like a scrapbook, sketchbook, if you will. So I'm just playing around with colors, lines here. I really, really like this red. It's like vermilion. I like it with alongside blue. So, yeah, this is from November, just like a cityscape. This is something that I did the other day. This was another, I think I got this off of Pinterest, or it might have been like a Map Crunch, like cafe view. And this is just marker. I usually use marker in this book on this type of paper. Another like Pinterest, or more than likely Pinterest, like picture, and just recreated it, with marker, playing around with some doodles and some sketches, composition as well. Yeah, I just redrew this here, playing around with my markers and the paper. This is like a I was gonna say a landscape, like a landscape, like mountains, rocks, water, very moody kind of scene. Something on Pinterest. It was probably AI, but I really like the colors. I like the moodiness of it. So, another urban scene, like sketching really quickly. Some of these things I've the other thing that I use this book for too is like if I want to do a master study or do a drawing or recreate something, sometimes I will draw it out first to try to get like the perspective right, especially if it's like a building or something. I want to make sure that I get the lines somewhat accurate. So if I remember correctly, I think I redrew this. Just doing like some anxiety doodles. You will see in many of my like monthly dumps of the art that I've done over that past month, there'll be pages where I'll have like some mental health, creative, you know, kind of exercise. And this is like anxiety doodles, just drawing things really quickly that make me happy. I drew a little mushroom house. This is like those pintail pens, water, like ink pens. This, I think this is a December one, but since we're here, this is a picture of Pam Grier. She was like stooping down in this scene in front of like a entertainment center with records and like a TV and everything, and she was looking at a record. I was gonna say maybe this is Shaka Khan. I think that this is a picture of Pam Grier, and so I just recreated it really quickly. That was a long drawn out story about that. Some fruit pages. This is like a market scene, and I really like the view of this. This one is more fruit, and I really like this abuelito. This little grandpa. This is like a swap market kind of scene. Like flea markets, I was trying to figure out, I'm like, I see people drawing, clearly things that they encounter on a daily basis, and I'm like, I grew up in the city, like we went to the beauty supply, we went to the flea market, the swap meet, I'm originally from Chicago. We went down, off of like 63rd, 62nd, to do shopping and everything. So like the city and shopping scenes that I'm used to as compared to like what I see a lot of the mixed media artists on YouTube that are at least pushed in the algorithm, their cityscapes and landscapes are different from what I'm used to. So I've been, you know, just getting more grounded and like being okay with that and looking for the pictures and the references that relate to what I'm used to, what I grew up seeing, what I'm actually comfortable drawing, and the types of faces that I'm used to seeing in the settings that they're usually in. So like this was like a perspective. Again, this is like me thinking through perspective here. So like, this one is like looking from like the apple, like the vendor on this side, looking this way at the people out in the market. This one was like a table full of like, I think it was watches. It was something, like you would see at a swap meet, like a table with just a bunch of knickknacks and all kinds of things. So I really like the perspective of this one, and it had like I was gonna say forest, but like outside there were statues in the back and everything. So I guess that was a story I needed to tell. Um, I can show a few pages from my Strathmore watercolor book. And it's not really a lot for this one because I don't do a whole lot in this particular book unless I have like a project or something that I'm thinking about. But I had gotten some new gouache paint from Arteza, and I was trying it out and also like playing around again with like urban sketching, you know, like doing scenes of houses and stuff like that. So this is the mauve and the ballerina pink, and then the light apricot, and then the tan and the latte brown. So there's that. I also did, you'll see as we keep going, I am trying to draw wood. So these are pews, P-E-W-S, like church pews sitting out in the forest. I don't have the reference photo for this, but you might see it in my other footage that I'm going to share about my other drawings from November, because they are on loose scraps of paper up on the wall. But again, this is horrible. This is bad, but it's my first attempt to try to draw like wood, you know. So this is me like just trying to see what colors to lay down on top of each other, that just give like that grainy, woody look to it. So I'm working through that and I'm gonna show it. This is like me testing out some different washes for this watercolor paint that I don't know if I actually like. I like it in lighter washes because it's not so streaky, but I'm, still trying to play around with it. I really like when I do my prepared pages for my loose paper, I like to do like a coffee wash in either in my sketchbooks or on my loose prepared paper, or like I really like a black ink wash. I'm trying to see, like if I like this raw sienna color as just like a lighter wash in place of like a coffee. And so, yeah, this is me like just testing out. This is the ink that I was talking about, the black ink. Testing out different washes of this raw sienna and just seeing what do I actually like. And these were done recently. Pink. Okay, and then this one, kind of the same thing, still playing around with the raw sienna because I had it left over. So I was like, let me just draw some quick things. This is like a bus. This is like a walkway. This is just a tree and then some mountains. And again, me like just playing around with the Indian ink washes, the raw sienna that I had left over, and then some type of black, pen or something to actually do the sketching. But in this also, I'm like working through how to be loose, how to do light washes. I'm working with value here as well. So the light, mid, and dark tone values, and perspective. So yeah, because this is December back here. And then the same thing, I still had some of that raw sienna left over. So doing some washes with that, and I just haven't come back to this page to put something on it, but I definitely will. And then this gets into December. And what And I show in my other sketchbook, I did a few different things. This is something that I saw, I think, on Pinterest probably, and I just recreated it. I thought this was really cool. I had gotten a new pen, and so yeah, wanted to try that out. So this is from November. This is gonna end up being backwards. I got some new supplies, some new watercolors. No, not watercolors. Some new color pencils, and was playing around with those. I also got like that micron graphic pen, and I really, really like that pen. So I was just trying to see, like, oh, here's the pen. I drew it. And then some of the name of the color pencils that I got, the Faber-Castell Polychromos. And I can do like a haul video as well if anybody is interested in some of the art supplies that I did. These are like some mini frames of just random things. So like this is my desk. And then the rest of these are things that were on Pinterest. This one just, a stack of cups and a vase, that same shot, but just a different angle of it, different pieces of it, and playing around with like, color in the background. Again, this is the same. These 1, 2, 3, and 4 are the same piece. Like this is somewhat the full piece of the picture, and I just broke it up into small vignettes. So like this is the heater, so then I just did one of the heater and then a little bit of the bottom, of the cup. And then, on this side, you get the tea kettle and then the cups and the vase, right? So that's that part. This is a quick sketch of something from Carrie Weems, Weems, the photographer, the Black woman photographer, Carrie Weems. She does this scene a lot, so I started to play with that a little bit. This is a random picture of, it's related to Caribbean spirituality. And so I saw that picture and was really interested in it, so I just drew it really quickly. Perspective, just some random, sketches of like windows and lines and like shading, and cross hatching and like playing around with that. I use markers a lot, and this is a mixed media sketchbook. Even though I do have a marker pad sketchbook, but the marker still bleeds through that. So I skip around a lot in my sketchbook because of my markers and it bleeding through things. So these are some other small like just little vignettes from Pinterest that I've attempted to simplify. This is that vermilion that I was talking about, that red color. I really like that. That marker on top of this ink wash. It looks very like graphic to me. graphic, like what popped into my head, like graphic, because I would describe my style as more like intuitive, gestural, like expressive. It reminds me of like a cartoon, like just these gestural, really fun cartoons. This is a quick study from an artist on Pinterest. I thought this was, I had gone down, I thought this was somebody else. I went down a rabbit hole for a different artist, and I'll show that as my last like November drawings. And then I'll insert the footage of the things that I have up on the wall because I did not feel like taking them off. But the rest of these are just like little quick sketches off of Pinterest. And wherever this one is just from memory. Yeah, wherever I've like recreated something from Pinterest, I usually do the artist name right next to it. This is still me like getting some new materials, also like playing with just randomly throwing down some color and then trying to sketch what comes out of that. These are skip pages. This is like me trying to also do illustrative journaling, like daily illustrative journaling. So my puppy was sick and she's a mini schnauzer. I call her an angry grandpa. And so this was the week that she got sick. I didn't finish this one, but the week that she got sick, I also had an artist panel to do. So this is us on Zoom doing the artist panel as well. And at some point I will finish it. This is like a quick scene from my desk as well, where I had her food and then my iPad. Skip pages. This was a fun spread. Playing around with, again, just really like just throwing some color down on the paper and then drawing, like what comes from that. So like I mentioned, I'm really into grounding in like city, urban, like my realistic world, what it really looks like, the people that actually, are in the neighborhoods that I'm in. And so, yeah, I did this collage of like this random house on Pinterest. This is the first car that I've drawn. I just was like, I want to do some random collaging of things that you see on the street. And I'm like, okay, here's the street light. Let's get a random car in there. So I did that. I really like this guy. I've been getting more comfortable with drawing men in my art, which is really interesting. They just randomly pop up. So like that abuelito that I did. And now this guy, I really liked him. I started with this like yellow blob. I was like, this looks like my uncle. So, I'm like, this yellow blob looks like this man. And then I was like, oh, this is my uncle. So I was like, this, let me just finish drawing him out. So that's what he looks like. And this is from, this is, I drew this picture from my drawing of a reference picture of Diana Ross. I really loved her headscarf. And so, I've been playing around with drawing people with things on their head. So, too. So this was like another attempt for me to draw someone with a scarf on. Okay. This one is a random Pinterest picture as well. I really enjoy trying to figure out perspective. I don't think that I'm that great with it, but I was in art school back when I had initially ventured into college. So like right after high school, my first college experience, my first 2 years of college were at Savannah College of Art and Design. And one of the lessons that stuck with me from that time were my classes on perspective. And so this is something, this is like muscle memory, like I've definitely had to like brush up on it, but perspective has always been something that I've always wanted to improve and be better at. I really enjoy like drawing buildings and things. So yeah, there's that. I didn't finish the story about SCAD. So yeah, I was there for 2 years, couldn't finish. It was just way too expensive, and I didn't have the support at that time. Being a Black woman, in that environment in art school was really hard as well. Um, like I said, I didn't have the support that I needed. No one in my family had gone to art school before, even though folks had gone to school, they hadn't gone to art school. So nobody really knew how to support me, and I didn't know what to do. So I ended up taking a more traditional route, and I put traditional in air quotes, but I've journeyed back to my art practice. And so here we are. Um, anyway, so this is the end of my November video. Like I said, I should have edited this video and dropped in the loose sketches, the loose paper sketches that I have up on the wall that I taped that I did for November. So y'all can see like a full range of what my practice looks like. I hope this was fun, for y'all to see. It was fun to do. This is me like trying to put myself out there in a different kind of way. I have been exhibiting my digital collages that I do, but this is like kind of the first time that I'm showing like my drawings. So yeah, this has been an interesting experience. I will have some of the more recent offerings related to art that I've done linked in the description and in the comments. So, like the panel that I was referring to, you should definitely check it out. There's some other Black women artists talking about this decolonizing feminism exhibition that we were in a few weeks ago. So, yeah, definitely check that out. Otherwise, I will see you soon.